The volcano giggled, then sneezed a lava bubble the size of a bus. Once upon a time on a crazy candy-colored tropical island with swirly palm trees and pink sugar sand beaches, there lived a little girl named Tilly. Tilly was a fearless adventurer with a heart full of curiosity. She always wore a neon green scarf and a pair of trusty aviator goggles. And those goggles came in handy because Tilly lived at the base of a very special volcano. This wasn't any ordinary volcano. This volcano was covered in sweet treats from its rocky candy rim to its gummy lava flows. And every so often, it would shake with laughter and giggle uncontrollably. And today was one of those days. The volcano giggled uncontrollably, then sneezed a lava bubble the size of a bus. That lava bubble sailed into the sky, splattered into a marshmallow cloud, and landed with a gentle plop. Tilly watched in amazement as the lava bubble floated past her goggles. Her mouth hung open in total disbelief. "That's not in the travel brochure," Tilly exclaimed, shaking her head in disbelief. And so began Tilly's hilarious journey to the top of Mount Ticklepop, a volcano that could giggle, burp out glowing licorice lava, and sneeze giant jelly bean-sized lava bubbles. As Tilly climbed higher, the air grew warmer and the ground jiggled beneath her feet. She scrambled over gumdrop rocks that wobbled like a jelly mold and dodged gumball boulders that rolled downhill, all the while scribbling frantic notes in her explorer journal. "If this volcano is gonna sneeze again," she wrote, "I am gonna get flattened like a pancake." She pulled herself up onto a narrow ledge with a view of the bubbling Caramel River below. Taking a moment to catch her breath, Tilly unfolded a map that looked suspiciously like a fruit roll-up. A blinking red dot indicated where she was, and another blinked ominously ahead. "You are melting here," Tilly sighed, pinching the bridge of her nose. Why did I think this was a good idea? As if the answer, a booming voice echoed through the volcano. "Welcome to Mount Ticklepop, home of the world's most giggly lava." Tilly jumped and spun around to see a hiccuping man in a bright blue superhero cape. On his head sat a tall white chef hat with a red polka dot band. "I am Captain Sprinklebottom, protector of Mount Ticklepop," he announced grandly, taking a deep breath. "And you," he said, pointing at Tilly, "are trespassing on private lava property." I'm sorry," Tilly stammered. Backing away slowly, "I didn't realize this mountain was ticklish." Captain Sprinklebottom took a step toward her, and with each step, a tiny marshmallow exploded under his weight. "You have disturbed my slumber," he said sternly, "and now I must tickle you as punishment." Before Tilly could respond, the volcano hiccuped and let out a loud burp. Startled, Tilly tripped over a chocolate chunk and landed with a thump on a floating piece of caramel. "Ouch, now that is a pain in the foot," she muttered, looking at her foot. As she struggled to free her shoe from the caramel, Captain Sprinklebottom approached her with a wicked grin. "Gotcha," he said, and he began to tickle her with his cape. Tilly shrieked and somersaulted away just as the volcano let out a series of hiccups that sent giant jelly beans raining down around her. Those jelly beans bounced like boulders, forcing Tilly to leap over them and duck under others. Finally, she scrambled behind a large gumdrop boulder, panting heavily. "Please," she gasped, "can we call a truce? Maybe we can work together to stop these jelly bean-sized volcanic eruptions." "Truce accepted," boomed the volcano, its voice surprisingly gentle. "But why do you want to stop my sneezes?" "They're quite fun, aren't they?" Well, Tilly replied hesitantly. "You might have noticed that I almost got pummeled by jelly beans twice. And I don't think my bones are strong enough to handle that many hits." The volcano let out a long sigh. "Oh yes, I suppose that would be rather unpleasant." It paused. "I'll have to ask my brother to turn down the giggle juice then." With that, the volcano fell silent, or at least it tried to. A few stray giggles escaped its lips, causing the magma to ripple like a pond full of tadpoles. "See," Tilly whispered, "that's much better." She spent the night at the summit, snuggled up inside the volcano's crater with a blankie made of marshmallows. The volcano told her a bedtime story about a brave knight and a fearsome dragon using sock puppets made of its own burps. By the next morning, Tilly was exhausted but exhilarated. Maybe Mount Ticklepop wasn't so bad after all. As the sun rose, the volcano yawned widely, revealing a pair of glowing amber eyes. "Good morning," it whispered. "Would you like to see something fun?" It inhaled sharply and blew out a stream of bubble hearts that floated out of its crater. One of the bubble hearts popped with a miniature burp. Tilly giggled and high-fived Captain Sprinklebottom, whose hand was covered in syrup. Mission Giggle Control equals success, she announced proudly. Before descending the mountain, Tilly planted a flag made of licorice at the summit with the words "Do not tickle." But just as she turned to leave, Captain Sprinklebottom hiccuped again, sending the flag tumbling to the ground. Oh, for crying out loud! Tilly groaned, knowing exactly what was coming next. And so the game of cat and mouse began, or maybe mouse and flag, as Tilly chased her flag all the way down the mountain. After a particularly hard sneeze from the volcano, Tilly looked down to find that her boots had been swapped for pudding cups. She yelped and lost her footing, squelching with every step. She burst out laughing, even though she was covered in chocolate pudding from head to toe. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Tilly sat on a gummy rock, scribbling furiously in her journal. Captain Sprinklebottom beside her was peacefully napping, with a bubble hovering over his nose to keep him from hiccuping. In the distance, she could hear the volcano softly snoring. Tilly smiled, feeling proud of herself for helping Mount Tickle Pop control its giggles. But she couldn't help but admit it was kind of fun being covered in pudding. "Okay, Volcano," she said aloud, "you win. But tomorrow, I'm bringing here plugs and granola bars. And that is the end of our adventure with Tilly and the Tickle Volcano. Thank you for coming along on this adventure with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Good night, little one."